2 Kings 7. The four lepers and the midnight miracle. The city of Samaria was in a terrible state. A Syrian army had surrounded them, and no food could get in. People were starving and losing hope. Elisha the prophet made a bold prediction. By this time tomorrow, a loaf of bread will cost only a penny. One of the king's officers laughed and said, "Even if God opened windows in heaven, that couldn't happen." Outside the city gates, there were 4 men with leprosy. They thought, if we stay here, we die. If we go to the Syrian camp, maybe they'll feed us. Or maybe they'll kill us, but we're dying anyway. When they reached the camp at twilight, they were shocked. The camp was empty. God had made the Syrians hear the sound of a massive army of chariots and horses. And they got so scared they ran away, leaving all their food, gold, and clothes behind. The 4 men ate until they were full, then realized, we shouldn't keep this good news to ourselves. They ran back and told the city. By the next morning, the people rushed out and found so much food that Elisha's prophecy came true exactly as he said. And that officer who laughed, he saw it happen. But he didn't get to eat any of it because he was trampled in the rush at the gate. It's a reminder that nothing is impossible for God, even when things look their worst. The next chapter, 2 Kings 8, a land restored and a dark prediction. Remember the woman from Shunem who built a room for Elisha? Elisha warned her that a 7-year famine was coming, so she moved away. When she came back 7 years later, someone else was living on her land. She went to the king to ask for her house back. Just as she walked in, Elisha's servant was telling the king the story of how Elisha brought her son back to life. The king was so impressed he ordered that everything she lost be given back to her, including the value of all the crops grown while she was gone. Then the story takes a darker turn. Elisha traveled to Damascus, where the king of Syria was sick. He sent his official, Hazael, to ask Elisha if he would get well. Elisha looked at Hazael and started to cry. He told Hazael, "I see the terrible things you are going to do to Israel." Hazael pretended to be shocked, saying, "How could I do such a thing?" But as soon as he got home, he ended the king's life and took the throne for himself. Just as Elisha predicted, God often uses the underdogs like the 4 lepers to do his biggest work. You don't have to be the strongest or the richest to be a hero. You just have to be willing to share the good news when you find it. Also, the story of the Shunammite woman shows that God honors those who are kind to his people. Even years later, a young man named Jehu is about to be anointed as the next king of Israel, and he's going to go on a fast and furious mission to end the house of Ahab and Jezebel once and for all. Read 2 Kings chapters 9 and 10 to see the chariot race.